Hello my dear students, welcome to the class of 11th English Medium. The subject is Statistics, Chapter 3, Measures of Central Tendency, brought to you by Vitan sir. In my last tutorial, which you can find at the top, we understood what is mode, how do we calculate mode for the raw data or discrete or continuous data, or even when mode cannot be calculated using the regular methods, what to do using the empirical method. That many concepts we cleared in my last tutorial. This time I am starting with the illustrations based on the raw data, the discrete data and the continuous data. Let's start with illustration 29. The number of books purchased by 15 persons from a bookstore are as follows. We have to find the modal value of the books purchased. The data is 1022342722542112. Now the number of times I said 2 obviously tells us that the maximum number of times the value which has been repeated is 2. So we just have to look at the data and we will see that okay, we can see a lot of 2's which has actually been repeated for 7 times. That means the modal value for this data is 2. So the mode, which is M0, will be 2 for this particular data. And it is as easy as this. For a raw data, it is just looking at the data and telling, okay, this number has been repeated for the maximum number of times, or this number seems to be the number which has been repeated for most. Okay, so that number will be seen everywhere in the raw data. So it's as easy as that. Let's move on to next illustration 30. TV sets assembled by a TV manufacturing company in a month are tested. The following table shows the number of defects per TV set. Find the mode for the number of defects. Okay, the table is given here. Number of defects, number of TV sets, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and defects are 45, 22, 18, 10, 6 and 4. Now just looking at the number of defects, that is the variable x, and number of TV sets, which will be obviously the frequency, we can see that okay, this is a discrete frequency distribution. Now for a discrete frequency distribution, what is mode? The value which has the maximum frequency is the mode for the discrete frequency distribution. So just look at the row of TV sets, that is the frequency, and which value is the maximum there? 45. So what is the number of defect for 45 TV sets? 0. So our mode here is 0. So by looking at the data, we can see that the maximum frequency belongs to the value 0, and therefore the mode of the data will be 0. That is, in notations, M0 is equal to 0. Simple as that. So the raw data and the discrete data are too simple in this kind of sums. Moving on to the illustration 31. The number of trips made by a taxi driver in a day are shown in the following data. Find the modal number of trips. Okay, so the table is given, number of trips, number of drivers. So trips is the x, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and the number of drivers are 3, 7, 4, 7, 2, 1. Now what we have to do is we have to check out the frequency, which is the maximum in the data. So the number of drivers are our frequency, and the maximum frequency, if you see, it is 7, but there are 2 times 7. That means there are 2 different values which has the maximum frequency. That would be 2 and 5. We can see that the values 2 and 5 both have the same highest frequency, that is 7. That means that we have a bimodal distribution with modes 2 and 5. Moving on, illustration 32. The number of patients arriving at a clinic each hour during working hours of a day are as follows. We have to find the mode using the number of patients. Number of patients are 3, 5, 4, 2, 7, 8. Now, just have a glance at the data and tell me, is there any number which has been repeated for the maximum number of times? No. All the numbers are available only one time. No number has more number of repetitions than the other number. That means we can see that all the values only appear once, and there is not a single value with the highest frequency. It means that it is not possible to find mode for the given data. So whenever you come across a question like this, you have to write this statement that all the numbers have only one frequency or all the numbers are repeated only once. So it is not possible to calculate mode for the given data. Moving on, let's do some sums based on the continuous frequency. Illustration 33. The following data gives output of workers in a factory. We have to find the modal output. The table is output and number of workers. 150 to 160, 160 to 170, up to 200 to 20 to 230. Now the workers are 4, 5, 19, 33, 48, 22, 12 and 6. How do we start a question where the continuous frequency distribution is given? Okay, now the basic rule for mode is the number of times of repetitions. It could be a raw data, and if it's a frequency distribution, then the class with the highest frequency. Right now the class with the highest frequency itself is 48. That means the class will be 190 to 200. So when we have the class of 190 to 200, we have to recall the formula of calculating mode for a continuous frequency distribution, that is L plus Fm minus F1 divided by 2Fm minus F1 minus F2 into C. So Fm, each value we have to see. Lower limit point is 190, modal frequency is 48, frequency before that is 33 and after that is 22, and the class length for each class here is 10. So we will put those values in this formula here. MO is equal to L plus Fm minus F1 upon 2Fm minus F1 minus F2 into C. We will put the values. So 190 plus 48 minus 33 upon 96 minus 33 minus 22 into 10. 96 I have directly put here using 48 into 2. So when we solve this, it is 190 plus 15 upon 41 into 10, which would be 190 plus 3.66, and the answer will be 193.66 units. So the modal output is 193.66 units. Okay, so that was a pretty simple sum. Okay, let's move on to the next one. The question is the number of cold drink bottles sold by a shopkeeper on different days is shown in the following table. Find mode for the bottles. Okay, now the table is number of bottles and number of days. So number of bottles are 0 to 3 and then 4 to 7. So can you see that these are not our regular classes? These are the inclusive classes. Now because these are inclusive classes, we will have to deduct 0.5 from the lower limit and add 0.5 to the upper limit to make them exclusive. But we don't need all the classes here. Which classes do we need? The class with the highest frequency. Right now the highest frequency belongs to highest frequency is 20, so the class is 12 to 15. So we will just convert that class into exclusive class, making it 11.5 to 15.5. Because we don't need all the classes, we don't need to convert all of them into the exclusive ones. We just need to convert the class which we need into an exclusive class. So the exclusive class here will be 11.5 to 15.5. So the lower limit will be 11.5, frequency 20, before 16, after 18, and the class length is 4. If you are wondering why it is 4, just check out our exclusive class 11.5 to 15.5. What's the difference there? That's 4 here. So the class length is 4. Don't be misguided by the difference in the inclusive classes, because there will always be a difference of 1. So if you think that the class length is 3, just add 1 into it, because those are the inclusive class, and you will get your class length perfectly. That is 4. We will take our formula, that is mod L plus Fm minus F1 upon 2Fm minus F1 minus F2 into C, and put the value 11.5 20 minus 16 upon 40 minus 16 minus 18 into 4. Let's do the subtractions first. That would be 4 upon 6 into 4, and that would give you 11.5 plus 2.67, and the answer will be 14.17 days. Okay, so sorry, 14.17 bottles. So your answer will be, thus the modal sale of cold drinks is 14.17 bottles. Okay, so I'm only doing these many illustrations this time. Next time I will take some illustrations based on the empirical method which I explained in my previous tutorial, and I will also do some sums from the exercise itself. Okay, so wait for the next one, and I will see you then. Welcome students to Vitan's Unacount Academy. That's better way to success for you. I am Vitan Vora, and I teach accountancy, statistics and social science. You can contact me on my cell number 919426310184. Please give a sub to my channel, and also check out my other video playlist which you can see on the screen. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video.